Greetings, welcome to West Green. It's Manavalanian Silver Supermanian. I am Station Master. God, I'm glad he's gone. Steve here, West Green. Welcome to the start of part 7 of my Connoisseur J15 kit. A most excellent kit, and I'm going to put down in the description a link to Jim McGowan's site, Connoisseur Models, because these are kits simply made, but in that simpleness is sophistication, I think. So what have I done? Going back to recap part 6, I've done that. Now I did something different today. Look at that. Can you see any solder? Go on. I'm a professional. I lied. I wanted to test this out. I wanted to test it because I wanted to test the motor, because I don't want to use the recommended Machine 1833. And I already had, this is a Shogun motor I bought for another kit, which I didn't use a motor for. This is actually, I wanted to check it worked. I wanted to check it went round my curves. So I thought what I'll do, I super glued the chassis together. The axles aren't, the bearings aren't soldered in or even super glued in. They're just pushed in, and I just wanted to check it all worked. And it does. Now the reason I wanted to do it is not only to see it works and check the clearance on the body, but the other thing I've got to make sure that this motor fitted. I don't want to build this all and think, oh crap, it doesn't. It's easier to check everything now. The other thing I'm going to do is this loco is built as a rigid chassis. In other words, six bearings, 3 each side, all soldered in. And actually this one, centre one, is actually raised up a bit, so it doesn't quite touch. A lot of kit manufacturers did that. But what I'm going to do, this is another reason I did it, I can't drive the rear axle nor the front one, so I'm going to leave these rigid, but the middle one I'm going to cut that out and put a Slater's cast horn block in it. That way this wheel will be able to move up and down. I also did run it to make sure it ran. Now this motor had a rear shaft on it, and I had a flywheel on it. I cut the shaft back by running the motor and also using a Dremel slitting disc, because what I need to do is to make sure there's enough clearance inside the firebox. And looking down through this end, I can put the motor vertical. So I think what I'll do, I'll put some sort of, maybe a piece of brass underneath, and maybe at the front, so the motor fits in or straps to it, so it doesn't move back and forwards. What it will do, of course, this motor's quite heavy, it'll put weight down on these, because the horn guides have got a play in them. It pushes up, it will push weight down, which is exactly what I want it to do. It means it can rise up by probably maybe a mil up and a mil down. That's all I need. So there's a Slater's cast horn guide and block. So I'll have to cut a oblong section, rectangular section out. This fits in the middle, inside the frames. You solder it to the frames. The bearing can then move up and down, and it only has to move very, very slightly. There's a keeper plate at the bottom, but you notice there's a lug there at the top of the horn guide. There's little springs. Oh, sorry about that. Little springs go up and down. So at least I know this is going to work. Okay, working down, I've done the cab as is with a full plate, and the tender is a plate which goes over to the tender. I'm just following the instructions. He tells you how to put the parts on. He doesn't tell you to put these on. This is here because he wants to show that, but he comes back to that later on in the book. The instructions are very easy to follow. Oh, somewhere up here he does anyway. Anyway, doesn't matter. So, that's what I've done. This comes out. He says it comes out. And there's a full plate. There's a piece of 7.7mm brass wire soldered to the bottom of it. Oh, sorry. 7mm brass wire, 2 copper split pins with going through holes and then cut off and soldered. So that's good. Next thing I've got to do is this. Smoke box assembly. These parts here. So what I've done, here they all are. I've got all the parts out. That's the actual smoke box. That's the wrapper with the rivets on, 2 spacers, and a front and back plate. That's the front one for the smoke box. That's the rear one. I know that because there's 4 holes. You can only put it together one way, so it's very clever. Okay, this is a smoke box, and there's this part and a wrapper with nice rivets on it. Goes around the outside. Jim says to attach it to a block of wood. This is the front with a drawing pin. I didn't. I put this just screw in. Well, it's not too tight. But what also I did, I made sure the screw wasn't too long and that I can get a screwdriver through the hole at the back to unscrew it. I wouldn't want to solder it up and realise I'm stuck. So then I formed this. I used a rod. Actually, my old mother-in-law stayed for the weekend, so I said, can I borrow your broom? So I formed it over the broom handle. I jest. And then I found a smaller piece of rod and just curved it out like that. So what I'm going to do, there's an etch mark. You probably can't see it, but there's a etch mark right in the, or you can just see it, right in the centre, and there's a little hole at the front. Obviously that hole is for the for a handrail stanchion, but it'll be right at the centre. So you match those up, tack solder it, and work your way around. That's the plan. So far so good. I've got it round the top. Now I've got this reverse curve. They were bent over a drill shank to form a bit of a curve. Whatever you do, don't be tempted to anneal this part. If you anneal it and it becomes too soft, you're going to have a heck of a time trying to form it up. Oh, you'll bend it all right, but probably it will just end up too soft. I know, because I've done it. Basically what I do, I've got this file here, and I push it, well I can't really, it's hard to do with holding the camera, but I push it in, and then I'll tack solder it down the bottom. In and out very quickly. I'm using a 60-watt iron, in and out, and then once it's all tack soldered, you can go around and make the joint good, which I'll do in a minute. Okay, so far so good. There's the cab done with a full plate and stuff. Smoke box complete. Boiler. Fits at the front. It fits at that end. And this one fits there and goes in there, I think. Oh, those things are going to fold up anyway. So the boiler next. So I've just screwed the Firebox plate down. I'll give this a bit of a kneel and a bend. There's a mark, centre mark there and one there. So I'm going to solder it on. This is a good idea. Means I can just hold it down, not burn the pinkies. So I've put that in. Needs a bit of tidying up. I've got this this next one to put in at the other end of the firebox. I'll put it in now. Well, the boiler's all soldered up. In the smoke box, these aren't joined yet. There's a dowel rod through the middle of the holes in the spaces, even in the boiler, so you can line it all up. Now I know that's alright. The next job is to fit the boiler bands. Yeah, so I'm going to pull it all off, fit the boiler bands. The good thing is, see, these are etched. Well, the boiler bands are etched too, so the etch fits in there, so they're going to go on exactly in line, all parallel, so that's good. Well, I put all the boiler bands on. They're really good to put on because there's like a etched, they got like a little T shape in them, and the boiler's a groove, so they all go on perfectly straight, and they're all custom built for each band, so which is really good. The domes, obviously, I just put those on. Come on. Oh, hold on. Yeah, so I'm a smoke, but nothing's soldered to the footplate yet. The boiler and firebox are one piece. Smoke box is one piece. They're not soldered, but I've got a dowel rod. Jim suggested you do this, so it lines everything up. It's just about ready for soldering now. All the clearances work. Yeah, very pleased with it.